we had a little issue with one of our kids, ended up in the ER.
It's 10:30 at night and I hear a cough, and it's almost like a croup cough. She is kind of hunched over, struggling to breathe. The cough was like, it was difficult to come in. And so I grab her and run out, and we said, where's the nearest hospital? We jump in the truck and we're flying to the hospital. What's going on, guys? Jinger and Jeremy here, and we've got a special episode today because it is just a couple of days away from your 31st birthday.
That's crazy.
So it's a birthday episode.
Yeah.
We're going to be celebrating your birthday and talking about birthdays. And you and I are very different when it comes to birthdays and how we approach them.
Yes.
But so I want to get into it, and I want to ask you about all the wisdom you've learned in 31 years of life. Because you've got a lot in that beautiful mind of yours.
Well, that's very sweet.
I was going to say brain, but I chose mind. I think it's better.
We'll see.
And yeah, so holidays are coming up, so things have been crazy. We've had a crazy, hectic week.
Oh, goodness. It's been wild. I feel like we just have been going nonstop for an entire week, and we're starting to feel it.
Yeah, but things are going to slow down around the holidays, actually,
Yeah.
because we're going to stay local, and the holidays will be nice and chill.
Yeah.
We'll have some family in town and everything. So it'll give us time to unwind. But we're like Johnny Cash. We've been everywhere this week.
Yeah. It was crazy. We started off in Dallas.
Yeah, as a whole family, we flew to Dallas.
Yeah, we took our kids with us because it's just like when we travel back to back, it's too much to leave the kids that many days in a row, and we don't like to do that. And so we took Felicity out of school for a few days, and then we traveled to Dallas, and it was great just having our kiddos with us. And
yeah, we got to see Justin and Claire, spend some time with them.
It was super great.
Got to see our friends Rafael and Jackie Perez.
Mommy Perez. Everybody calls her Mommy Perez.
Yeah, even Felicity and Evie. And so Mommy Perez was with our girls because you had some media stuff.
Yes.
And so Mommy Perez is like the ultimate babysitter.
Everybody loves her. She is so much fun.
Yeah.
She has so much energy, and our kiddos just absolutely adore her. And yeah, she was like having them dancing, did a tea party with them, and like all the things that you'd want as a kid. Like that's what she does.
It's important that the people who watch your kids like really enjoy them.
And especially when they're traveling too. I feel like that's a harder thing to find somebody that your kids feel comfortable with, but they absolutely love Mommy Perez.
But that's the dilemma for us when we're traveling, because if things come up, like your book is releasing in a month, People Pleaser, you can pre-order it wherever you can pre-order books. You just finished the audiobook for that. So you've got all this media stuff to do, and we don't want to keep the kids home. And so that's a big thing when we're traveling. It's like, yeah, is it easier to go in and out real quick, especially to a place like Dallas for media without the kids? Yeah, it's easier. But then if you've got to do that several times in a month, then you miss the kids, and you want them experiencing that with you. But then you've got to think, okay, so, if you've got some work to do, who's going to be with the kids? So to have a Mama Perez is like the best thing ever.
Yeah, it was such a blessing. It really was. And it wasn't uneventful. We had a little issue with one of our kids, ended up in the ER, and it was a little bit of a scare. And I think that was like, those things happen, and you have to just kind of like take the curveballs as they come. Thankfully, she was okay. She just had a little episode of something where a doctor even thought maybe she had inhaled something and aspirated maybe a piece of food, and it might have been lodged in there. So by the time she got a steroid and all, she was breathing well again, but it was just for a little bit of time. It was kind of scary. And so
I heard her cough. It's 10:30 at night, and I hear a cough, and it's almost like a croup cough. And I run in to her room where she's sleeping, and she is kind of hunched over, struggling to breathe. And the cough was like, it was difficult to come in and to breathe out. And so I grab her and run out, and we said, where's the nearest hospital? We jump in the truck, and we're flying to the hospital. I mean, like 4 ways on, in and out of traffic, looking. Obviously, I was being safe.
Yeah, because we knew like if we called the ambulance, it would probably take longer.
No, the hospital was
10 minutes
away.
Really close.
Yeah.
I think that was a really scary feeling, just having her breathing not being so well. And I think that with that, like, we weren't sure if it was asthma, if it was something like that, because you had asthma as a kid.
So that's what I thought, my first thought, because I was around that age, Evie's 4, when the asthma started to kick in. And so, I mean, we run her into the ER. They immediately check her pulse. And she was okay. She was stable. She wasn't turning blue. That's the thing I was looking for too. So she was breathing, but it was struggling to breathe. And the thing that's scary about asthma is your breathing starts to get constricted. So it becomes less and less and less. And that can happen quickly. So I was watching her as we're in the waiting room, just wanting to see, is this consistent or is it getting worse?
And I think that the thing that really caught us off guard was that she was not sick at all before.
Right.
She had the best day, no signs of a cold, no signs of anything that would have led you to like think, oh, she's sick, or she was not low energy. She was so high energy is what Mommy Prez said. Yeah. So for that to come out of nowhere just was such a shock, and it was super scary.
But then she stabilized in the hospital, and we were there till maybe 1:30 or 2.
I think it was later than that.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah. It was.
So Evie and I were just asleep in the room. I think
they had a recliner, and so Jared was like he was like holding her, and she was just laying on his chest and just conked out. Both of them were like just out, and so we were really thankful that she was able to do well.
Yeah, they ran all the tests. Yeah, nothing was wrong. So they assumed maybe it's croup. So we treated her for that. But,
well, they just gave her a steroid and said that if it was croup, maybe that would help. But whatever it was, when they gave her the steroid, it helped her so much. Yeah. And so we still don't know exactly what it was.
Yeah, but we're going to get to the bottom of it.
And we're going to get some more tests done just to make sure she's good. Make sure, rule out asthma or allergies or things like that. And Texas, I think being in Texas, you had more allergies there than you did here.
So I've got to say, my breathing out here has been amazing. I had childhood asthma, but I say childhood asthma. I mean, I still have asthma, but I played soccer. I went through my entire adulthood and never had an issue with asthma until I moved to Texas. Yeah. I actually had to get those albuterol inhalers for the first time in 2 decades when I moved out to Texas.
You were wheezing. I remember whenever we first got married, it was kind of scary because like I would just hear you and you'd be like normal, and then you'd just start wheezing out of nowhere. And I'd never... Yeah. I mean, I have siblings with asthma, but like I hadn't really heard it. I don't know. I wasn't like.
So I don't know what it is about. I don't know what it is about Texas. I don't know if it's ragweed. I don't know what it is, but so that could be what it was for Evie. But so we need to get it checked out. But that was a scary moment.
It was super scary.
I don't remember a time. I mean, with either of our kids, but it's been. I mean, since I was a kid, I think that we had a rush to the ER moment. Yeah.
That was so scary.
But we kept our composure. I think in those moments, like you're praying and you're asking the Lord to give peace and just to watch over. And obviously being with dear friends, the Prezes, they were like, we've got Felicity.
That was also the comforting thing, because I think whenever you're in a place where, like the night before, we were at a hotel, and if we had been there, then it would have been a different environment, because, you're not in a home, and you have to figure out, like, we didn't have to take Felicity with us because she was already asleep. Yeah. She was able to just sleep through not knowing what was happening, and we were able to go, both of us together.
Is knowing which hospital to go to.
Yeah.
Because the locals know, like, hey, don't go to this hospital, go to that hospital. Obviously, you want to go to the children's hospital because they're going to be most specialized, but you think, okay, if I don't have time to go 45 minutes, what's the best hospital closest? And so we just immediately asked them, where's the hospital? And they said, you could go here, go to this one. And so, it's nice to have people. And honestly, I thought, man, next time we travel with kids, you want to have it's kind of like a fire escape. Like you want to have an escape route. You want to know, okay, if something happens, we are going to this hospital. Maybe have it saved on your maps.
And for like a babysitter too, like that's something that it's just helpful to have already written out. I have a friend who's so good about that. She has all the details written out for babysitters when they come. It's like posted on the fridge. And I think that is so smart, having a plan and having it written out. That way, like, this is what you do in case of emergency. Yep. So you don't panic and do nothing.
Yeah.
and freeze. And so I think that, yeah, it was a blessing. God knew, even just having us at their house that night and having that extra support was just so helpful. And then, she thankfully was fine and did not have any symptoms. Like even croup usually lasts so long, and that's where it was not croup.
It wasn't croup.
We talked to another doctor friend, and he was like, it wasn't croup.
Yeah.
It was something else.
Which makes us want to figure it out. I mean, it could be as simple as allergies.
Mm-hmm.
What was cute is, so Evie is this little cuddle bug, and while she's struggling with it, she's like just folded over into my chest, just kind of absorbed into me. And then she wasn't feeling well. She was breathing much better, but still just kind of melted into me. And then once they gave her the steroid, it's like 1:30 in the morning, and they were so great. The nurses brought in toys, like little like squeegee toys and plushies and stuff. And she's sitting there like playing with her toys.
She's playing with the little fish. She liked the fish in a ball.
That's it's a little fishy squeeze in it.
Yeah, it has like squishy stuff, bubbles. Yeah. It was really sweet. So then she played with that for a while.
And she woke up the next day just like happy as could be,
and
ready
so
to go.
we were able to come back home, which was a huge blessing. We're going to take a quick break from this episode to talk about Connect cards. So just last week, Jeremy and I sat down and did a Q&A using these Connect cards, and they are so perfect for couples to ask questions that you would never think to ask each other. Some of them are super fun, other ones are very deep, and it's just an awesome way to connect with your spouse. And so after we did that, we got such great responses from you guys wanting these Connect cards. And so we called up our good friends, Jeremy and Audrey Roloff, who had created these cards, and asked them if they would make them available again. So they have agreed to do that. You can go to their website, beating50percent.com/Jinger, Jinger. Don't forget, Ginger with a J. And hop over there and grab these. They are actually going to be on pre-order right now, and they will be released in January. And this is just for you all. So go ahead, hop over there and get your cards today. We're going to jump back into the episode now. We were home for a few days, and then we headed to Phoenix for a day. We actually left the kids here. Jer's sister Val's amazing. She kept the kids for us for that full day. So we were gone morning till night. Yep. Flew to Phoenix.
Hung out with Matt and Abby Howard from the Unplanned podcast.
And then
they're really sweet. They become friends of ours over the last year, and it was fun to do some stuff with them. So, but then so this was funny. Like the week of travel started with the whole family. Then it went to you and me, and then on the weekend it was just me. And I flew to Arkansas for a friend of mine's wedding, but not Northwest Arkansas, Little Rock.
Little Rock. Yeah,
and
Central.
This is really funny. So check this out. I've got it done.
Oh, you brought it up here. I didn't even see it sitting there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I feel like it's going to cast some shadows on your head, but I kind of love it. You have to wear it for the rest of the podcast.
So
1,000%.
So this cowboy hat, I lived for 7 years in Texas, babe, and I never wore a cowboy hat. Not once.
You wore another style hat. It was not a cowboy hat.
It's like a rancher's
hat or something, but it's different style.
Yeah. But
that is a cowboy hat, man.
When I saw the dress code for the groomsmen, because that was a groomsman's wedding, was like a vest and shirt or a jacket and then a cowboy hat and cowboy boots. But I resisted on the cowboy boots, and I kind of regretted it because I just wore regular boots, and I thought, man, this was the excuse I needed to get a pair of cowboy boots. I don't know if I'd wear them ever again.
But would you ever wear them? That's why I wouldn't let you justify buying them if you weren't going to wear them again.
But I did buy boots for the girls.
Yeah. They're so stinking cute. They're pink
boots,
little
from
cowgirl boots.
Oh, yeah.
So sweet.
The cutest little things.
Yeah.
And so I had a cowboy wedding.
Yeah.
Over the weekend.
It was crazy. Like you FaceTimed me and I had to do a double take. I was like, is that Jeremy? Is that him? Because you were wearing your cowboy hat. And when you FaceTimed me, I think you were holding your phone down a little low.
Right.
And so from the angle, it looks like that cowboy hat was like way taller than it was. It looked like a Bonanza hat. You know, like what is the guy's name? Is it Haas or something on Bonanza? And his hat is like super tall. You know which one I'm talking about?
Let me see.
It's been a while since I've watched a Western, but it reminded me of him.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And his hat was his hat was so tall. What's his name though?
Haas.
It is Haas.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Haas
So,
Cartwright.
Yeah, his hat was super tall, and I was like, "Oh my word!" But then this looks more normal now, and it looks good on you.
It takes a minute because I just wasn't used to it, and then the feel of it and all this. I feel like Cade Fainer.
I like it.
Shout out to Cade. I might talk like this the rest of the podcast.
Let's just rope it back in, boy. Pull it back in here.
No, it was funny. So I told my buddy Tawfiq, who got married, I was like, man, I survived 7 years in Texas. I didn't say y'all. I didn't wear a cowboy hat, and you dragged me out to Arkansas and put a cowboy hat on me. And what are you going to say? You're going to protest and not wear it?
No, it actually looks really good on you.
And I thought, hey, I'll do work around the house with some.
I like it.
Little cowboy flair.
I like that. That's a perfect working hat. So yeah, it was crazy. We went to the Phoenix flight. Okay, I have to talk about that for a second because I did mention it on my Instagram, and I was kind of hating on a specific airline. Southwest.
Oh, Southwest. Let's talk about Southwest.
We have to
Airlines.
talk about that because we flew out and it was not like it was a very short flight and it was just you and I. And I don't want to sound like difficult because I'm not usually that difficult when it comes to things.
But it was your first experience on Southwest.
But I don't ever remember flying on Southwest. And when we went to board, I literally was holding my ticket and I kept looking at it and they were like calling groups to line up and they didn't call my group and I was like, I'm so confused. I don't understand the system.
You were so
confused. It's an A, B, and
this.
C system.
Yeah.
Which I had never heard of because I usually we fly American most of the time or United. Or
you did not know where to stand. And so once I showed you they were going to flip it around and what line to stand in, and we didn't book the flight. And so I didn't even know we were flying Southwest until we got to the airport.
Yeah, that was the thing.
And I realized we're in the C group. I'm thinking, oh no, there's only going to be middle seats.
Yeah.
And so, of course, we couldn't sit together. And we're sitting in these middle seats. And I've flown Southwest a good bit, but I always feel like it puts you in a difficult position. And there's this look people have when they walk on the flight. As soon as they turn to the aisle, they're all of a sudden are looking at their seats. And they're judging everybody, like sizing up. Where should I sit? Who should I sit next to?
And it's stressful, isn't it? It's a little anxiety inducing because I thought that.
Especially if you struggle to make decisions.
Yeah. And like people, especially if you're not on a full flight, this is the other thing because the people on either side of you don't want somebody to sit in the middle. And so I walked down and I was trying to figure out, okay, this person, their arms kind of hanging into the next row.
Oh, guys are spreading their legs or putting their bags.
Yeah, so I kept walking. We entered from the back of the plane, which is also weird. And
that's a Burbank thing. They always do that from Burbank.
I didn't know that, but I entered from the back and I'm like walking down. Well, I got to like row 5 or something. So I was actually towards the front.
Yeah.
And this lady had her purse sitting on the seat next to her, but I didn't want to turn around and go back at that point because I'm like, dang, now I'm gonna have to like backtrack. So I just asked her, I was like, can I please sit here, and she just was like, sure. And no one's like, oh yeah, of course, because they are all wanting to have space, and I get it. If I was in that position,
but you feel bad.
As well.
I went up to there's a guy and a girl and they're sitting there and everybody's trying to avoid eye contact with you.
Yeah.
They're trying to look as undesirable as possible as a
and
sitting
you're tall.
mate, right?
You're very tall.
And so I just said,
sitting in a middle
it was
seat.
like, I'm going up and down this aisle. I said, I'm so sorry, but I'm sorry for ruining your day. Can I sit here? And she was really sweet about it. But you do feel like you're ruining something.
You feel like you're imposing.
Yeah, and you feel like you're the one where they're like, great. Like you could have picked anywhere and you picked me. And so it's funny. There's like a psychological thing that's happening there.
Yeah.
But so your friend Josh Walsh reached out to you on Instagram because you posted how confused you were by it. And he said, confused. So shout out to Josh. This was clutch, Josh. Thanks, man. He's like, you're like 25 weeks pregnant. They consider
it wasn't him who told me that.
Oh, I thought it was Josh.
Another friend. Josh told me the other thing. So yes, go ahead though.
Oh, Josh told you all the perks of flying Southwest.
Yes.
I thought but so who gave you the pregnancy tip?
Yeah, Rebecca.
Okay.
Rebecca did.
So she goes, you're 25 weeks pregnant. Southwest considers that a disability and will let you pre-board.
Yes. And so on the way back, now, okay, guys, I'm not one of those people who's going to like try to be difficult. Like I said, I'm usually the one who is just like, okay, I'm just going to do whatever I have to get through it. But at this point, I was so tired. And all I wanted to do was just sit next to Jer. And also, I hate flying. So that's another thing. I want to be next to somebody because I literally I hate flying with a passion. And I don't like heights. I don't like tall buildings. I don't like, I'm in my mind, I say I don't like cruise ships. I've never been on one. I've been on ships before, boats, and I don't like boats. I don't like things like that where I feel like I'm trapped, right? Maybe a little claustrophobic at times. But, so when I get on a plane, I love flying with somebody and I like to sit next to them. And it's just something that's like comforting about that. Maybe I need a support animal. I don't know. But
we'll get you a little crocodile or something to bring with you.
There we go. That's nice.
Yeah. So, but it's not fun on a flight. And then we'll watch a show together.
Yeah.
So we're hanging out. This is, especially when we don't have the kids.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like, hey, this is
yeah, it's nice. But I know everybody wants that. So
of course
I did board early. And also I was like, I was in pain that day. I've been having more sciatic nerve pain in pregnancy. So half of the flight, I was just leaning forward on the
I didn't even have to tell the guy. I just said, hey, my wife's 25 weeks pregnant. And he said, yeah, we need her close to the bathroom, more comfort.
Close to the bathroom. So, he knows. He must be married.
So he said, yep, pre-board. He put us pre-board. And it was actually really nice because we got to be in a better place, sit together, I should say. And so in talking to, when I was at the wedding in Arkansas, our friend Destiny from San Antonio, I forgot she works for Southwest, and she's in their complaints department, I think. And
how many complaints do they get?
But she said they're changing it. She said 87% of their of Southwest passengers would prefer assigned seating. So 13% like it open, and those are the psychopaths, I think, who enjoy the thrill of the
chaos,
the psychological challenge.
Interesting.
And that's my opinion, not hers. Mm-hmm. But they're going to change it in 2026 to be like everyone else. Wow. They're conforming.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see Southwest. But yeah, I agree. Here's the other thing. I once had a horrible Southwest experience where with the seminary, I was traveling at a 45-minute flight to San Jose. And my colleague I was traveling with said, hey, book this flight, and showed me the flight. And I didn't understand how to book Southwest. So I booked his exact flight, and it was in like the Premier or whatever it's called group, which is A. And I was like, man, this is expensive, but it was a last minute thing. So booked it. And then I'm standing in line in the A group in like A5. And he's like, why are you here? And I said, well, because I booked this flight. And he said, yeah, but why'd you book it in Premier or whatever it's called? I said, well, because that's what you told me to book. And he's like, man, I've been flying Southwest my whole life. I have this status because of miles. And you paid for it. I was like, yeah, it was expensive. So he's busting on me for that. And the third guy we were flying with just booked like the cheapest one in C, which is what I should have done, 45-minute flight. And the flight, they go out to San Jose like every hour. So it was like there's a few people on the plane, and we all three sat next to each other. And I probably paid like triple or quadruple what he paid for it.
But it's just confusing.
Well, I just didn't know.
Yeah.
Southwest killing me.
That's
insane. It'll be interesting. But anyway, what a busy week. We've been flying everywhere. We've been going everywhere. It's been fun, but I'm excited to kind of settle down.
We're a little tired.
And we're settling down just in time for your birthday.
Look at that.
December 21st every year. Jinger turns a year older. And this year, how old are you turning? You should never ask a woman her age, actually.
You can ask me my age because I am turning 31. I'm no longer just barely 30 anymore. It's a little sad.
The 20s are getting farther and farther in the rearview mirror.
That's crazy. Like, that's just so insane. Yeah, 31.
How's it feel? I mean, you're not there yet.
I'm not there yet.
It's a couple days
so
away.
I'm just not going to go there. Until I'm there, I'm not going to know how I feel. Right now, I feel very pregnant. And I
think you'll still feel pregnant on the 21st.
Yes, hopefully so.
So you and I are different when we celebrate birthdays.
Oh, yeah.
You have like a deep, how would you describe, you love celebrating birthdays?
I do. Okay. So I think that we had different styles of how we were raised and how birthdays were celebrated because different priorities, really, because for us, my parents made birthdays such a special thing. And back when, like things were tight and um, we were young, I think that in that time, there was a difference when it came to how we celebrated our birthdays. And so our parents were super good about making it so special for us. And they would take the birthday person, just the birthday person out. Usually, if we had the buddy system going, which is like where I would take care of one of my siblings or like help like do their music practice in school or whatever it was, then I would get to go along on that sibling's birthday outing. So my buddies were Jed and Johanna, and their birthdays are October. Let's see, Johanna is in October, and Jed is December 30th. So I would get to go out 3 times a year for my birthday, their birthday, their birthdays. And it was so special because we would go out to dinner, or when we were super young, it was like McDonald's or something, get a Happy Meal. And once we got older, we could choose like whatever restaurant we wanted to go to. And then we would go eat at that restaurant. I remember so many times it was like Golden Corral was the place I wanted to go because it was a buffet and they had dessert and they had candy. We'd always, of course, want to wrap candy up in a napkin to take with us when we left, which I feel like is just totally fine because it's your birthday and you're a kid. So that was my favorite place to eat. And then usually like across the street from that was Locomotion. And it was a really fun place. It had like, the arcade games and like, what else did it have? It had go-karts. And also, what was the other thing? I can't remember. Anyhow, the little bumper boats. If it was like summer, but I would never do that because my birthday was in December.
Well, don't they have mini golf too?
And mini golf, yes.
Yeah, I've been there once.
Mini
with
golf,
your brothers.
yeah, that's right.
And you?
So yeah, mini golf, and my parents would like have us go. Like we could go there, and then as we got older, like we could go out shopping and like, just get like new clothes or something. So it was really special. And then we would go home that night, usually on the birthday person's birthday evening. We would go home and grandma and grandpa would usually be there. And sometimes like a couple cousins and aunts and uncles. And they just knew like it was usually on the birthday person's birthday night at like 6 or 7 p.m. we would have ice cream. And this is something that we have that was so different. We would rarely have cake.
Oh, Ginge.
This is a big debate.
We
have had such a debate about this.
I had no idea how emotionally tied I was to cake until this past birthday for Felicity.
Yes.
I had no idea. It was
it was crazy.
It hit me after 37 years.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Oh no, we don't need cake. I got some other desserts." And I went, No, it's her birthday. We need cake.
Yes, you were so... We had a little debate about it.
I could not understand why you didn't want me to get cake. And you were going...
Yeah, I was thinking, okay, was this after her party or before her party?
So
no, her party was going to be later. It wasn't on her birthday.
But we celebrated her birthday, and then we were having our party 2 days later.
And you wanted her to have cake on her birthday.
And on her party. Because you need to have that moment of... blowing out the candles, we sing happy birthday, and you said you got cupcakes. Or not even that. It was like ice cream, something she'd love.
I was going to do
awesome.
just ice cream.
And I didn't realize how I was thinking, no, she has to have cake.
Yeah.
And you and I were talking past each other. We could not figure out
I was so
how
determined.
The other person wasn't getting.
I was like, you don't need cake. I said, you don't need cake for a birthday. Because I just grew up having what we would do. This is what we would do.
And I was thinking, what have you done with my wife? Where is Jinger?
I can pass on cake almost any day. I cannot pass on pumpkin pie or ice cream. So if you give me cake, if it's carrot cake, that's one thing. I might be able to I like carrot cake. But I'm not going to be buying it for myself. I don't go to the store ever and buy carrot cake. I will go buy pumpkin pie and I will buy ice cream. And on birthdays, we would buy at Aldi. They had, not only Aldi, but those little paper box, carton of ice cream. It's like this wide.
Yeah.
This tall. And you would buy them at Walmart. You buy them at some grocery stores, probably cheaper grocery stores. So we would get them from like Aldi. And my mom would take a knife down the middle and she'd cut it this way and then she'd cut it into slices. And then we would throw it into a bowl and you throw candy, toppings, like syrup, sprinkles, all the things on it. And we would make ice cream cakes, which I think was on the show.
Oh,
There's
delicious.
a really good recipe for ice cream cake.
Goodness me.
So we would do that. Like it was layers of ice cream sandwiches. Recipe? Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're going to link that recipe.
I think it was like the Forsyth's recipe that we stole as the family and loved it.
Ice cream cake is phenomenal, period. But a homemade ice cream cake? It is
so good.
Let's go.
And so it was layers and layers and layers. And you could top it with like whatever the birthday person wanted, whatever their favorite candy was. So usually like for me, I liked the Heath one. So it was like a little bit of toffee with like chocolate. They would chop it up real fine.
That's another
and just a little sprinkle. Totally different, right? So, or you could do like caramel syrup drizzled lightly, which you also hate. And so whatever the birthday person wanted would be on top of the ice cream cake.
Right.
So that's what I grew up doing. We would rarely have cakes, like every once in a while. I think like on my first birthday, we'll have to put the picture up because they had this cake for me. And I think that one of my aunts made it is what I remembered hearing. And it was Ginger. And it was cursive, to be fair. So I'm like, I don't know. Something went messed up. But it was my first birthday. And I think that after that, I think that my cake and my birthday cards were all spelled right. But I had a cake that time.
Yeah.
But most of the other birthdays.
Cake, right? But you're just indifferent to cake.
I'm indifferent.
Like if somebody had a cake, or you're not like, get that cake away from me.
No, if there are desserts like at a game, if there's a dessert cart that comes,
you're not going for cake.
I might, if it's carrot cake, I might get a slice. But if there's a caramel apple or like a chocolate covered apple, I'm going for that.
Yeah,
or if there's ice cream, I'm going for that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go for chocolates. I don't like chocolate either, which sounds weird, but I won't like go buy a bar of chocolate. Right. That's just weird to me.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you're super health conscious. And so when you do have a moment of splurge, you gotta be strategic. You don't just splurge on anything.
Yeah, I don't.
But I remember just thinking, and it wasn't an argument quite. Maybe it was on the line of argument.
I feel like it was an argument.
You know what's really funny, babe? Is like, I remember where I was on the phone, what I was looking at, and going, wait, she needs a cake. And you're going, no, I got ice cream. I'm going, but it's her birthday. She needs a cake. And so maybe it comes from this. When I was a kid, my dad is an artist of sorts. Like he never did anything with it, but he's good.
He is good.
And he would design and with my mom, like design a cake in the shape of a character, or like for me, it would be a soccer ball or something, and would put a lot of care into either making me a card, or that cake every year was like something special. And he'd ask us like, what do you want for your cake? And my brother would be like, a dinosaur. And so you'd make a dinosaur cake. And so that's in my subconscious or my psyche. And maybe that's what's made it so special. But you know, what's funny is I have these moments where I get really sentimental about those moments being special. And so like this year we're talking about Christmas. We've got too many toys. And so we want to give toys away, and we want obviously our girls to be in the pattern of giving and being generous. But the thought of not having gifts under the Christmas tree, like, gets me really upset in terms of like the sentimentality of it. And we don't have to have a ton. They don't have to be extravagant, but I want my daughters to come down and see like, hey, we put thought and effort or whatever into this. And it's not, I don't know where that's coming from, because there wasn't ever any time my parents didn't regard our birthdays, but there's something special about that. And I felt now celebrating my little girls, I really want this to be a special moment for them. And cake is part of that.
Yes. Gifts are a big thing for you too, in general. And you're very good about it. But then the problem is I feel bad. Like when it comes to birthdays, but I am really bad at giving gifts.
But here's the thing.
For my friends, for my loved ones. I can't come up with ideas, and I'm not a planner. You put too much pressure on yourself. Well, I'm not a planner, and that's part of it. I procrastinate, and then when it comes to the time, I think about somebody's birthday. I'm like, oh, it's Jeremy's birthday coming up, or oh, it's my friend's birthday. I need to get them a gift, and I want to be so thoughtful in what I get you that I end up getting you nothing.
Right.
or I want to be so thoughtful in writing you a note. I'm afraid it's not going to be good enough. And so I just feel like I don't know. Like, I'm like, it doesn't compare in the friendship as to what I want to communicate and how I want to show you that I love you. And I'm not as creative when it comes to that. And so every once in a while I'll come up with a good idea and I'll want to surprise you. But then I'm like, well, if I spend the money on that and it's not special, I want you to get something that you like. So sometimes I'll just ask you, which is so boring.
No, it's good.
So boring. No, it's boring.
Somebody has to create a word for that experience of wanting to give so much attention and effort to something to do it well that you end up putting it off and never doing it.
Yeah.
So you can be like that with gifts.
100%.
I'm like that with emails and texts. Somebody sends me a thoughtful text. I need to think through it. I will leave it unread. And then before you know it, it's a week or two gone. I've never responded because I thought I need to give such attention to that. Somebody needs to come up with a word for that.
Yeah, I agree.
But no, you're good at gifts. What's interesting about me with birthdays is I don't really care if I have a big celebration for my birthday.
Well, you've said that, but then I've thought, well, I don't know, because if I actually did something really, really special like that, like if I just did what you do for me. I appreciate anything
you've done.
Then
I'm not like bummed out if it's like, there have been years where we're busy and something happens. You go, yeah, okay. Yeah, great. Thanks. Happy birthday.
I was supposed to plan. So this was part of it. I was going to plan like a golf trip with our really good friends. And it was like something that I wanted to do. Like we were going to do not even a trip. It was just like a golf day. And we were going to do it for your birthday. And something came up around your birthday week. And then it got pushed out. And then it never happened. And that's been like a couple of years.
But we've gone golfing since with good friends.
Yes, but not with those friends.
Yeah, we should plan it.
Bummer.
Next birthday, next September.
It's a shame.
So what have you in 31 years of life? What have you learned?
I've learned that I'm bad at giving gifts.
Ridiculous.
Oh,
You're
goodness.
31, Ginge. We got married. You were 22.
I still feel like I'm way younger than that, and I feel like I'm not as young. I feel like I'm not as far along in life as I am. So I always feel like other people are so much further along in life. That's what I feel like at this age. And it's interesting, like looking at that and thinking, okay, like I am 31. In my mind, I'm not 31. I'm not there. I feel like
what are you in your mind?
I feel like I'm like 20 or 18, 20. Like okay. in like where a lot of things. I'll listen to college students and I'm like, we are in college ministry. And so I'm like, oh dang, like I know nothing. I know nothing. So
yeah, but it's all on like superficial stuff. Yes, like it's all on like it is. Whatever pop culture.
Yeah, it is.
You have everybody has these amazing experiences, life experiences that they bring to the table, and you've lived this incredible 31 years of life.
Lived a crazy 31 years. If you think about it, all of that added up, all the things that, I've walked through, experienced.
Well,
yes.
You've traveled, the whole TV journey. I mean, there's been so much that's gone on.
There have been tons of things that are just so abnormal that I've done, and my life is just not normal.
But there's a beauty in that. And so you look at other people, and everybody's experience is different. And you look at other people and go, man, I haven't experienced what they've experienced, or I feel like a fish out of water here or here.
Yeah.
But then you've experienced other things. So it all balances out, and it's all like, it's the human experience.
Yeah. And that's the cool thing. But like, it is interesting because I think that we both feel this. We've talked about it. You look at your kids and that's where you see how far time has gone on.
Oh, man.
Because being 31 seems weird to me. But then when I look at having a 6.5-year-old, that is what is strange. Like, how do I have a 6.5-year-old and a 4-year-old and another baby on the way? And then that jolts you into reality of like how quickly time has passed.
They're going to be in college and we're going to be sitting here going,
we're going to be sitting here doing this podcast. You're going to be wearing your cowboy hat. You're going to be wearing like a flannel shirt.
You think
like you're going to be doing that.
You think I'm going to embrace it? You think we'll still be doing this podcast when our girls are in college?
Well, we'll see what everybody wants.
We'll
see what the people want. We'll still be doing it for our kids. We'll be like, just telling life stories
for mom and
for
dad.
Kids. Yeah. I love it. It's probably actually a good hobby for our old age.
Hey, you know what? I thought about this. Doing the podcast has actually been really fun for our relationship. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes there are seasons of life that are so busy, and it actually makes you just sit down and talk.
Yeah, and reminisce.
Yeah,
it's actually
fun. The times we do this, it doesn't feel like it's, okay, we got to do. It's like we're just talking.
Yeah,
we're just hanging out, and
it's super fun.
And I've learned stuff about you from this podcast too.
Oh, same. Yeah,
as you've brought stuff out.
It's really great
that we haven't talked about before.
What was your best birthday like that you can remember? Because I do want to go back to that. I just feel like there are some core memories that you have as a kid, but like talking about birthdays. So what was your best birthday cake your dad made? Is that like...
Yeah, I could be remembering this wrong, but I think he made a Sonic the Hedgehog one, and it was for either me or my brother.
Okay.
And it was awesome.
I like that.
I just remember being around our dining room table. Coming down the stairs was a big thing because, and that's why we do this for our girls too. I mean, I don't know if this is why, but we do this for our girls where they come down the stairs, they come out of their room, and then there's going to be balloons, there's going to be special decorations all over, because that moment is really magical. And now you think about it as a parent, and you're like, yeah, we're at the dollar store getting balloons. You look at the balloon and go, oh, that's cool, and then you're over it. Yeah, not as a kid. Mm-hmm. As a kid, you wake up, or you're woken up. Probably the girls wake themselves up on their birthday mornings. You sneak out at the room, everything's dark. You open the door, mom and dad are downstairs, you hear them, you walk down the stairs, and it's like this magical experience. You're walking into this moment of celebrating you. And I remember that as a kid, walking downstairs and the balloons everywhere. My parents did an amazing job of doing all that in the house. And then you have the cake reveal, and that was always fun to see what it was.
See, that's part of it, is like it was a tradition for you.
Yeah,
it was something that was very special.
And then the gifts, are fun.
Yeah.
And, it was funny. I told Felicity the other day, because every time I travel without them, I bring them something special because traveling,
Yeah, they always get sad if one of us has to leave or both of us.
And so I always bring something special. I told her, I said, I have something special for you. It's something you wear, because it was the cute pink cowgirl boots. And she was trying to conjecture. I said, look, I don't know if you're going to like it. I want you to like it, but it's okay if you don't. And she said, Dad, it doesn't matter what you get me. I'm going to like it. And I just thought, man, that's
so cute.
She's so
She
sensitive.
will say the sweetest things. And if you give her something, or if you say like, okay, you get to watch a show today, like, then she'll say, well, I love you more than a show.
Well, she said that when I was leaving a couple of trips ago. I said, Felicity, I'm going to bring you something very special on this trip. And she said, Dad, I want you more than I want anything you could bring me. It's so cute. And it's moments like that where you're like, oh my goodness.
I love it.
All right, cancel the trip. I'm staying.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, there's a magical, so I don't remember one specific birthday of what we did, but my parents were always really thoughtful with the gifts and things. So that's why I like making it a thing.
And you do such a good job with that.
Well, you do too. You're incredible. The decorations and stuff you set up, and we got to figure out though this Christmas, because we can't be getting them more toys if you get too many toys, the toys they have aren't special.
That's the thing. So I was at the store today, and I got some gifts that I feel like are perfect for them, because we wanted more like activities for them. So a game. I actually got Twister for Felicity.
She'll love
you are going to love that. You're going to play it with her, and it's going to be so fun. Because, since I'm so big pregnant, it's going to be a little hard for me to play.
I want to see.
With my sciatic nerve pain. I'm going to get into a position.
Hey, it might be good.
Like,
actually, it might be
this
like
is bad.
Might be like a chiropractor.
Like
for you.
yoga session.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that. I'll probably wait until after I have the baby a while. But I got her Twister because I just thought she would absolutely love it. She knows her right hand, her left hand, all the things. And it's going to be cute. So I think that'll be perfect over Christmas for the family to be playing. And then I got her a Razor scooter because that was my childhood. It's pink. It's really cute. It's like silver, of course, with pink wheels and handles and all.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what we got growing up. And
then
we put some miles on those things.
Country miles.
Oh, it was so fun.
But then we've got some other gifts, and someone just poked their head in. Hey, baby, we're talking about gifts for Christmas, and so you cannot be in here for that. Yeah, we need you to go out,
okay? What time is it? Oh, don't touch that, please.
Baby, don't touch that.
What time is it?
We'll be right out in a few minutes. Okay.
Well, I think Matt and Stins are about to get here.
Great.
They are. Yeah.
Do you want to let them in when they get here?
Sure.
And make sure if you hear a knock at the door, is there food coming?
Oh yeah, maybe the food's coming.
Let Annalie know if you hear a knock, then that means your dinner's here. Okay. Thank you.
Hey, cute cowgirl boots, girl.
Where's your boots?
I don't have any boots right now.
Why? Why didn't they give you boots at the wedding?
Because I didn't buy them. Okay, run downstairs. We'll be out in a few minutes. Okay. I love you.
I need something.
All right. You look cute.
Okay,
right,
don't mess
ya.
that up.
Silly girl.
Close the door.
Close the door, baby. Thank you.
All right.
I was about to spoil the gift and tell her what it was as her head pokes in.
Dang.
So we're going to get little, with the cowboy boots, she wanted little horse on the stick.
Oh, stick horse. Yeah.
Stick horse. Yeah. I
so
do remember
cute.
getting those for a birthday or Christmas and riding those around the house.
I remember getting stick horses too. It was a
Yeah.
stick horse. We did a stick horse rodeo. It was so fun.
Good times.
We should do that with the kids.
Okay, well, Felicity just told us we have to go because the food's almost here. We're having Matt and Stan's over. And so we literally have to end this podcast and go hang out with our friends. And we're eating Thai food. I love it.
Let's go.
Thai food in
It's
December.
going to be really good.
It's perfect. Okay, well, guys, thanks for hanging out. Pre-order Ginger's book, People Pleaser, Breaking Free from the Burden of Imaginary Expectations. You're going to do a lot coming up this month with a lot of media stuff for that.
Yeah. You're going to start seeing a lot of
yeah.
even little snippets like from the book. And so I'm excited for that to be in your
Yeah.
hands or on your headphones because I finished the audiobook as well. So if you're an audiobook person, go for it. It's out there for you.
And make sure you like and subscribe. Leave a review, leave a comment, send us a message. We love hearing from you guys. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time. Peace.